Greetings, everybody, and welcome to this episode of EmpyREAL Everyday Woman. If this is your first time with us, we are glad to have you. We hope you stay a while. And if you have been with us before, welcome back. This is Dr. D.
And this is Ashley.
And we're excited to talk a little bit again this week about everyday amazing women and how they're rocking it out. We're also going to talk about stereotypes of women in this episode. I'm excited to chop that up with you, Ms. Ash. And then on the way out, we're going to talk about being stuck in the house. If you look at the date of this episode, we are still dealing with the outcomes, the issues related to COVID-19 or the coronavirus. And so many of us are still working from home and stuck in the house. So we'll rock it out and talk about that before we get out of here.
For sure.
Stay tuned. All right, Miss Ashley, this week we wanted to feature a woman who was really in an everyday way being amazing due to their dependability and the way that they are consistent and really going with the flow, but yet committed. And so as we were talking, we actually came up with two names.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited to feature our women tonight.
For sure. So for my feature, I wanted to go with a friend of mine. Her name is Denidra. And I just think that she is a wonderful person, great personality. You threw out some words like amazing, dependable, consistent, committed. And I think that is her. I think that she's amazing in everything that she does. When she puts her mind to something, she gets it done. And that's just amazing, number one. She's a go-getter. And I find her dependable in the things that she says that she's going to do. She does them. And if she says she's not going to do something, she's really not going to do it. So definitely she's dependable. She is a woman of her word. She is consistent. She is not flaky. She doesn't sway with the wind. She is consistent and she is committed. And what I like about her, what I like about her is the fact that like I said, if she puts her mind to something, she gets it done. Recently, she graduated from hair school and as well as worked in our profession and the things that we did at work. She was doing both of those things, and she is a mom, and her son graduated high school, will be graduating high school. And she decided she was moving away. And so she just recently picked up and she moved. And she did what she said she was going to do. Listen, right? She did exactly what she said she was going to do. And I just think that she's amazing. And then lastly, let me just talk about this. She has mad swag when it comes to style. She reminds you of Denise Huxtable is what she gets all the time. Like, she has that sort of swag. And listen, she's just an amazing person. D, you are amazing to me. I think that you're the bomb. I'm proud of you, and I'm glad that you're going after your heart's desire. You're going to the city that you moved to do your dreams, and that is commendable. And listen, I'm proud. What about you, D? I know that you're going to feature someone too, right?
Yeah. First, though, I want to shout out what you just said. We dismiss, I think, the struggle, the challenge that can come with chasing your dream.
For sure.
And not only not being stuck, but putting other people in front of you and before you so much that you end up never really getting to do you, right?
Absolutely.
So that stuck out to me, what you just said about, chasing your dreams. We do dismiss that as that being easy. And as one who has tackled a couple of her own dreams, I can recognize that takes a lot. It takes fortitude and commitment and what we said, right? Dependability, and really being focused. And so shout out to you, Miss Denidra. What is interesting, or what's different in this episode, is as we were talking, there were two women that we both felt like really deserved recognition, although every woman does. I wanted to mention Lachey Lawson. Lachey Lawson is from our area, city of Dayton, Ohio, and she actually serves as the director of finance for the city of Dayton. And I met Lachey when we were in school together, and Lachey has been on the peripheral of my life for the last 30 years. And when I say peripheral, she's been a resource. And when I think of consistent, I think of Lachey. Lachey has had some formidable challenges, as a lot of women do in the last couple of years, and she has weathered them with such grace. And I'm not in her inner circle, so I'm sure there have been times that she's probably lost it, right? Because she's had some loved ones who have transitioned on, and she's a single mom, and so all the challenges that come with that, and her daughter is absolutely amazing. But speaking of being a single mom, she is a single mom to a daughter that just finished law school and successfully on the first round completed the bar.
Look at that. That is
right. Right. Those are the things that we just take for granted, right? But in her own right, she has done formidable work with supporting young people through undergraduate school to graduation. She is a character builder like none I have seen. She will get you together. She will get you right together, but she does it with grace and style, and you never question her motive. And it's that when you leave her, that you are a better person than when you came to her. And never in that encounter, not being a woman of grace and a woman of character, and just such a huge, I'll say it again, resource. I've never reached out to her and not gotten what I needed in some fashion. And I'll mention lastly, I appreciate that her yay is yay and her nay is nay, which sounds a lot like Deandra, right?
Yeah.
I don't get any wishy-washy from Mrs. Lofton. And nor do her mentees. She is very clear and concise, and I think that is to be applauded, because we're living in a time where it is easy to be inconsistent or to flee, particularly when things are so difficult and so heavy. So thank you to Lachey Lawson.
And Denidra, thank you. Thank you so much. Before you wrap it up, Dee, let me just say, listen, I am totally impressed by Miss Lofton. She just sounds like an amazing individual. And I'm a little biased because, finance is my degree. So listen, shout out to you. And especially like you're a woman of color. That's even more impressive. And to have such high regard within your circle and even through onlookers, I think that that's amazing as well. So shout out to you. I think you're amazing. And listen, keep doing what you're doing. People see you. So
shout out to you both. Thanks for all you do. So, Miss Ashley, we were talking about for tonight, we wanted to talk about stereotypes, particularly stereotypes about women. And then you and I have had this conversation of, is this podcast specifically for women of color.
Yeah.
And my response has been, it's who we are, so we can't stop talking from that lens.
Sure.
So tonight we're just going to own it, and we're also going to talk about stereotypes about Black women.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say, if the shoe fits, wear it. And the shoe does fit. We both are Black women, so
yeah.
Let's talk about it.
So, what are some of the stereotypes that you often hear?
That Black women are angry.
Okay. So, I mean, let's back up. So maybe we should first talk about what are stereotypes and where they come from.
Sure.
And the challenge with stereotypes is often they are birthed from some truth. And the problem with stereotypes is not the stereotype, but who it gets put on to, even when it's not warranted.
You said that they are birthed out of truth. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Want me to say more?
At least half truths.
Well, here's what I think. Stereotypes are someone's observation about one that gets put on others.
Sure. Okay. That's fair.
So it's birthed out of some truth, some observation, some you came to some conclusion, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is you took that conclusion, and if you saw it true on one, then you assumed it was true on all.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it becomes a stereotype. So it's defined as a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing. So again, it gets taken and put on others without warrant.
That's fair. I agree.
So now let's talk about what are some of those.
Sure. So like I said, the one that I have heard so often is that Black women are angry. And I'm just like, what Black woman have you been in contact with? But then I feel like sometimes it's warranted. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I don't think it's a fair stereotype, if I could say that. If you want to go with, okay, yeah, Black women are angry, then I feel like, okay, then there is a justification behind the angriness that you do observe or have been privy to. But I feel like you can't put that umbrella over all Black women.
Sure.
What's one that you've heard?
Well, let's go back to the angry. For me, quit making her angry. Right? To the person that brings stereotypes, my question always is, and what's your role in that manifestation?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because we are socialized beings, we are products somewhat of our surroundings, and so if I am not who I am isolated from my environment, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I see how anger and angry Black woman is a stereotype. I think because of our personality and who we are, our just resting state,
yeah,
is so unusual. It's not the norm that even when we are not angry,
we're misconstrued.
Yes. And have you ever seen that saying that says, if you want to see some truth, accuse me of it?
No.
So it's like, if you want to see me angry, tell me I'm angry.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Call me angry.
I feel like that stereotype of the angry Black woman, and you know how I was saying, like, sometimes it's warranted, and it kind of holds hands with what it is you were just saying. Like, call me angry if you want to see me angry. I kind of and I don't want this to be like a super sensitive and really, I don't want it to be a serious topic, because I want to have fun with it, and I want to like definitely debunk those myths and those stereotypes. But I feel like that one kind of goes back to a couple of episodes we talked about the post-traumatic slave syndrome. And I was just thinking, like, I feel like it's warranted in that capacity. Like, we are looked at as this sort of woman, and it has stemmed from somewhere if that's what it is you're receiving. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and yet you're right. Some of it is funny, but really, when you think about the origin of a lot of it, it's not.
yeah,
Um, some of the research that I've done, even in my own scholarly practice, it says that the stereotype of a Black woman really comes from four kind of foundational assumptions or identities that are put on Black women. The first one is that of the mammy.
yeah,
So the motherly type, the asexual but very rotund and shapely, bring me your children, kind of again birthed from that house slave mentality, right? Or
yeah,
what, not even mentality, but what was put on Black women as slaves, but that we're able to bear any burden. We live to carry those burdens. It's the assumption that we cannot be, like, nothing will bring us down, right? This assumption that we can carry it all. Have you seen that picture, that meme of the woman who has one child in one hand, one child in another, one on her chest, and her man on her shoulders?
yes, I have.
That thing rakes me every time I see it. But that whole assumption that we can carry it all.
And that's
So,
what everybody
yeah,
thinks.
absolutely.
Like,
To the
oh, you'll
point
be
where we're
okay.
dismissed, right?
Yeah, like, you'll be okay. You can handle it. And it's just like,
Right.
what?
Right.
Huh? Do you hear yourself? Oh
The
my God.
assumption that nothing will break us, and usually it's true. Like, I'm made of good stock. Not much is going to tear me down. But the assumption, right, is where I feel like, yo, pause,
Like,
pause.
come on, for real? That's how you really
Right, right.
I think another one that I feel that we get is that Black women are uneducated.
Yeah,
That we have the roll of the neck, and I guess it kind of goes back to the angry Black woman, but that we're uneducated, but that we all are just unkempt and baby mamas, and
yeah,
just all of these sort of stereotypes. And
absolutely.
listen, I remember growing up feeling like, listen, I'm not going to be another stereotype. Like, I refuse to be that stereotype that people think that, all Black women, especially millennial age, are just going to get pregnant and be on welfare and, things of that nature. And so, like, I've promised myself, like, Ash, you will not be a stereotype. Like, that stuff that people
Yeah.
are saying, that is not going to be you. And so, yeah, uneducated
I
blows my
think
mind.
too, like, and that education then makes you a bee.
Yeah.
So the second one in the research is the sapphire, but it's this, like, hard to love, almost that angry Black woman, hard to love, always fussing, emasculating men. No matter how beautiful or smart she is, she's just on a rampage. And that's what comes with education too, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you can't be um, a Black woman in your own right, and beautiful and soft and
Yeah.
loving and extremely smart.
Yeah. And let's talk about the fact that even in the stereotype of the Black woman, there is an even bigger stereotype if you're a dark Black woman.
Yes.
Like, I feel like all of those things are heavier. Those stereotypes are heavier if you are a darker complected woman.
Absolutely.
Black woman. So, yeah, that, it just drives me nuts. It's because we're
Right.
Black women and we have experienced it or lived through it or heard it or felt it in some way or another. One that I heard, I think that kind of just rubs me the wrong way, as all of these do, is that all Black women are loose.
Jezebel was my next one in research. Go ahead.
And that, like, if someone approaches you, you better take it because, like, that's all you're worth or that's all you're going to get, because they want this sort of woman. Like, so you get what you can get type of mentality. And it's like, bro, no, not everybody's like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Not even that you're going to take whatever that you're offered, but that's what we pursue. This highly sexualized illusion of Black women, right? And in a course I teach, I talk, part of the conversation is that was part of the lies of slavery, right? That the Black woman's body was only for procreating and working, right? And so this highly sexualized image was put upon us to make rape okay. Because look at the way she's built. Of course she wants it, right? And we should probably do kind of a warning for this conversation, particularly for folks who are triggered by these topics and conversations, because there are women I know, friends of mine, who are constantly telling men, I don't appreciate your advance, right? Like, not only am I not flattered, I don't want that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I wanted that, I would let you know I want that. But you coming over and asking me, I remember one time me and my friend was out. I won't say which friend. If I did, then we were out and some guy was like, "Ooh, what's your name?" And she was like, "What's in your wallet?" Like, I'm not interested. I am completely. But let's talk about jobs. Let's talk about careers, right? Don't holler at me. I'm not interested. But this whole highly sexualized idea, this myth that Black women are insatiable, that sexual exploitation is part of our design, and that we are vulnerable or even invite sexual advances and sexual assault.
That's
so. Yeah.
Good.
Even one research, this fear of Jezebel also often causes Black women to deny human sexual urges to prove propaganda about them is wrong. So I don't even want to engage, because I super am against this idea of being sexualized. So I don't even really engage in healthy relationships because I am so against being seen just for my body.
Yeah. I was thinking about all of, how the media portrays Black women, that, they're not as beautiful as other ethnicities and things of that sort. But then how the media also takes from the Black woman and puts it on women that they say are more beautiful than that Black woman. And so I think about oftentimes the pictures of Kim Kardashian, no shade.
Much shade.
I like Kim, but like, no shade to her.
I didn't like that picture.
No, yeah, that picture was just, and even with the cornrows and how, like, Black women have always rocked cornrows, and it's just interesting when you see a Kardashian rock it, how it's the new wave and how they have made this, they have created this sort of thing. And it's just like, well, no, this came from Black women, And so it's just things about that, and it kind of further ingrains into everyone how just low second class citizen the Black woman is. And it just doesn't, as a Black woman, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't look good, and it's just like, what is wrong with us that you can't see my worth or you can't see my value?
Absolutely.
I sound a little passionate about this because I am.
The last of the four that we often see, and there's so many, right? But because there's the Aunt Jemima, there's the savage, right? Just has no kind of home training, no finesse, right? But the last one I'll mention, and then we can talk about why we wanted to talk about them, was the matriarch. Yeah. And society has forgotten that Black families were ripped apart at its origin. But there's this assumption that a Black woman, particularly if she has kids, has no partner.
Yeah.
Or that the lack of partner was from some character flaw of either the woman or her partner.
Yeah.
Without thinking about what society has done, Jim Crow laws, the new Jim Crow, right? Just historically has not been for the benefit of Black families. Period.
Not at all. I was what was I watching? I was watching something, or how it just, people were talking about kind of what you were just talking about, and that, Black families were literally, not even like literally ripped apart, and how the system even now is not created to promote unity or family in the Black households.
Absolutely.
And so just thinking about that, and it just further embeds into our brain that this is the Black woman, this is the Black family. And we have to do something about that. We have to figure out a way in order to let people see how magical the Black woman is. Absolutely.
And that's why I wanted to talk about these stereotypes, because they are embedded in society to the point where we navigate the world ignoring them. And granted, I think some days it can be really difficult and really hard, and such a burden. But even with these stereotypes, and like we just recognized that much of society not being structured for our benefit, we are still rocking it out. I almost said a bad word.
Yeah, we are.
We are still rocking it out. And I know women, particularly because we are Black women, we're owning that today, are navigating these stereotypes at the grocery store, at work, in a rare encounter at the store, at Target, at the mall, right? And I've said before, I almost want to get a t-shirt and say, just tell me what I'm dealing with, because I know you got a problem with something. And we can be at work and deal with this perception of the mammy, like I'm going to do all your work for you, sitting in a team meeting, and everybody's looking for you to take notes for some reason, or to take the lead on this project. And then when I walk outside, somebody trying to holler. Yeah. And I don't want them to, because I'm actually very happy with the relationship that I have. Thank you very much. And I don't find it a compliment. And then I get into the store and somebody asks me, they assume I work there.
Yeah.
When I don't have on red and brown.
Yes.
I'm carrying my purse and my phone just like everybody else.
Yes.
I remember the day that happened to me. Like, why? Let's pause. Why? And I love everybody who works here, but why are you assuming in this moment, matriarch,
Yeah.
Danny,
Yes.
that I am? I'm not even gonna help you find anyone. Or you and I have talked about this. Random people. Do you remember when we were shopping Christmas Eve or after Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Random people telling me their life story.
Yes.
Why? I just want the Legos. I want the Legos. I don't care nothing about your 9-year-old.
True story. Oh my God. That will go down in the history books.
Like, why are people, particularly white women, randomly just walking up and having a conversation with me and assume that I am invested?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's these stereotypes that are embedded, right? Now, what we didn't talk about is what we often inflict on each other.
Absolutely.
Some stereotypes are not
too far off.
Well, some of them we put on each other. Black women to black women.
You know? Unfortunately. Can I say it again? Unfortunately.
I'm thinking of the stereotype of we've talked about friends, right? And just saying I don't want any friends, or I already know I don't need no black women friends because they ...
Yeah. We have.
I don't want women friends. I only hang out with men because women blank
are messy.
And yes.
That's a good stereotype right there.
Yes.
Black messy. And will steal your man.
And then you bring us back to the original. Sometimes it's birthed out of truth.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Sometimes black women can be messy and catty to each other. And so we bring it upon ourselves oftentimes. And so we have to do a better job at that.
I was going to ask you, any suggestions for folks who are listening, navigating these stereotypes or perpetuating them by either behaving in them or putting them on other women? Any thoughts?
One that I would have to say is transparency. Like, it's okay to be honest, and I promote honesty, but doing it in a respectful way. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Placing yourself in the situation and also just not feeling like everyone's out to get you, or there's an ulterior motive behind every interaction with a woman or a woman of color. Lead with, in my opinion, trust. Like, you don't have to prove everyone or prove the scenario, the situation. You don't have to try to figure it out. Let it happen organically. And if someone shows you who they are, and then you believe them, right? So don't come out the gate already with the rough exterior, with, accusatory behavior, things of that nature. So that's what I would say. What about you?
A couple things. I think a lot of times our stress levels and our anxiety are heightened because we feel like we can't name things and meet them head on. And so one of the suggestions I would say is to gauge your environment and then name a stereotype and then function true to yourself. And depending on that environment, it may differ, right? How I engage it at the store may be different than how I engage it when I'm in front of my supervisor.
Exactly.
I may have to word it differently in front of my supervisor, I may have to say, I'm noticing that there's some assumptions that I don't know that my behavior has warranted. Can you help me understand where that's coming from? Have I missed something in my behavior or my actions that have given the wrong message?
Yeah.
And I always tell people to point back to your job description or your performance evaluation. I really want to be successful in my position. So can we talk about what your expectations are and as they relate to my position? What are some things that we can actually point to help me be a better blank?
Yeah, I agree.
Because when you start asking people to prove what they're talking about, when it's a stereotype, they don't have any examples. If you say, will indicate to me where my behavior you can partner with me to do some things differently. What are some of those things? Then you can start interrogating, well, if you don't have any examples, then where is that coming from?
Yeah.
I'd love to work with my mentor. So if you could give me a couple examples I can take back to my mentor to process with them. Right? Versus being at Target and telling the lady, what's wrong with you?
I like that.
Got on purple.
Partner with it. I like that.
And then the other, I think we all need to have our safe spaces. And I've said this before, as much as we can find safe space, and sometimes that means avoiding even the media and things that reinforce those stereotypes.
Sure.
So that we can rejuvenate, recenter, remind ourselves of who we are. And I've said this before, a lot of times we have to listen to what people tell us, and then I say pray. Someone else may say something else, but ask for clarity on what of this is really relevant to me and what of this is about the person delivering it to me.
Yeah.
But I can't take on everybody's assumptions and views of me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I agree. I think we sometimes jump to conclusions also. And we see things that aren't necessarily there for whatever reason. And maybe it's because we're defensive because of stereotypes. And so we believe that everyone is out to get us sometimes. So be aware of that as well.
Absolutely. Protect your peace.
That's good. I know you're like a stickler about that.
I am.
About you?
It took me a couple years to figure out that I had to protect my sanity as a product and external to me. I often say, like, if it was an infant, what would I not want? I wouldn't expose the infant to detrimental environments. I would not leave the infant unsupervised.
Yeah.
I would not put the infant in the hands of someone I didn't trust.
For sure.
Right. I would make sure the infant is taken care of and covered and provided for. And a lot of times we have to think about our peace or our mental health the same way. Who am I exposing it to? Who am I leaving it in custody with?
Yeah.
Who am I trusting with it? Am I covering it? Am I putting layers of protection around it? Or am I just letting it be? Right?
No.
I'll read you this from Ferris State University that did a section on negative racial stereotypes and the effect on attitudes toward African Americans. And one of the things that really stuck out to me in this is that they said, just a reminder that racial stereotypes and attitudes are often delivered and consumed without Racial stereotypes and negative beliefs are often taken in and consumed without malicious intent, right? It's part of the way that our society has been socialized. It says folks may do so out of ignorance, habit, or fear rather than maliciousness. By suspending our disbelief and seeing each other as an individual rather than through the eyes of preconceived stereotypes, we can begin this change on the individual level. As a result, resolution on the community and society levels can occur. So, don't hit nobody in the mouth. That's the moral of the story.
I wasn't expecting that.
It can be extremely frustrating, and cumulative impact can make us go from 0 to 100 in one instance, right?
Absolutely.
Bad enough. But as much as we can, deal with individuals on an individual basis and provide education where you can and get home safely.
Amen. Please.
Let us know your thoughts and encounters about stereotypes. We love to chop it up with you. You can find us at EmpyREAL Everyday Women on Facebook, Twitter,
and Instagram.
So, Miss Ashley, we were going to finish with a segment called Stuck in the House. And that's literally what we've been, is stuck in the house.
Because I'm in the house bored.
Well, here is what I did that was so detrimental. I downloaded TikTok and lost a day of my life.
Okay.
I have got lost in the abyss of people dancing to all the different music, and it has been hilarious.
Have you tried to do one or two?
I plead the fifth.
Oh, that's so awesome.
It may be true that I have a TikTok and a Voicely account with hidden posts. You know how you can say personal? It may be very true. If you look out there, you will see nothing, but there is something.
Oh, can I see your phone the next time I'm with you? Okay. Listen, TikTok is the it thing right now. And everybody, when I say everybody, I mean everybody, and their mama, and their grandma, and their dog are doing a TikTok right now. So it is not uncommon or weird that we have jumped on the bandwagon as well. Notice I said we, not you.
Yeah. I was about to say, it's the church and the unchurched.
Listen.
The old and the young. I don't know what it is about it. Like, I don't know why I watch 10 of the same song of the same moves by different people. I just know that I did, and I lost an hour. And then I was sure that I could do, what's the one I want to do?
Oh, you want to do Savage.
Yes. Slap it, flip it, rub it. Savage. I don't even know the words.
Why
and I'm going to look like,
right now?
I'm going to look like the grandmama who downloaded the app and somebody let her have her phone, talking about I'm a savage.
Nasty?
Okay.
I'll stop right there.
Oh, man.
What have I been doing? I've been finding little odds and ends to do around the house. I told you that I just automated my door as of last night.
And you installed it?
I did install it.
Color me impressed.
And can I, transparent moment?
Okay.
Oh, I have washed all of my laundry.
Shut it down.
I have
Get
finished.
it, Miss S.
I know. I'm so excited.
Wow. Okay, we got to provide context. You have so many clothes.
Yes.
Laundry is not necessarily required in order to be in clean clothes.
Absolutely.
So, and you work like Dunkin' Donuts hours. Like, I don't know when you sleep, because you up early in the morning and you up real late at night. So I can imagine and I can understand how laundry is not the priority. So I am thoroughly impressed.
I'm very geeked about this development.
Insert applause.
Oh my gosh. Listen, we're really going to have to insert some applause right there, because I'm geeked about that.
You got it.
And my apartment has stayed clean, which it normally... Let me just say, I am not a dirty person. I'm just really busy, as Dee said, and I'm always on the go. And since I've been home, my apartment has stayed clean. I do dishes every single day.
I am so impressed.
Yeah, I even kind of cook, throw some cooking in there. So this has been an interesting COVID experience. My COVID experience.
Oh, that's a good hashtag.
There we go.
We're going to start that. Check it out on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Hashtag my COVID experience.
My COVID experience.
I finally picked a craft to do. So I'm remaking an expensive bag that I saw. Mm-hmm. And I explain it because I'm not making it to sell. I'm just making it because when I saw it, I thought, I can make that. And it's $2,600 on the website that I saw. So I'm back into my crafting. I'm going to finish that bag, and I've done some sewing just to keep my mind busy. The field I'm in, I had a Zoom call that started last week at 10 p.m. because I needed to talk to someone in Vietnam. So it was 10 a.m. for them. So I'm having a struggle with kind of balancing the workday.
Yeah.
And making sure that the workday ends at a reasonable workday end time. But other than that, it's just been good to be around the house. I was laying in the bed this morning thinking, it's pretty good that I'm stuck in the house because I was exhausted.
Are you catching up on sleep?
I wouldn't say catching up, right? Because you can't bank sleep. But I have not been running, and if anyone knows me, they're laughing right about now because I don't sit down. I don't know how to. Don't know how to sit still. I get it from my dad. He just never believed in being a homebody and not being out, whether it's in the community or doing something. And I recognize that I will go back to that.
Yeah.
I'm not apologetic about being active. I'm in a field that requires me to be active. I have some gifts and talents that allow me to do some extra things like music and stuff like that. And so I recognize I'll go back to being busy because I like being busy, but I was tired.
I'm glad you enjoyed this time or been able to at least get some sort of like solace and rest.
Yeah. I have not taken on any big tasks at the house. Like I'm not trying to paint nothing, redesign nothing. I try to be in the bed before midnight. Yeah. Even if work ends at 11.
I know I've texted you at like, one night, 2:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And I remember saying, I'm trying to think about something deep to ask you, but I have nothing.
And my reply was,
Sleep. I tell you what I have found during this time is I have upped my knowledge of wines that exist. Read between the lines.
You acquired a little culture?
Absolutely.
Little wine
Absolutely.
culture?
Absolutely. It has been very educating.
Hey, let's do that too. If you got a good wine for us to try, well, for Miss Ashley to try, leave that in the comments too.
Guess it's not between the lines anymore.
Right. Nope. So what have you all been doing stuck in the house? And yes, we know you most likely have been homeschooling your children and taking care of your home, but what are some other things that surprised you or that has kept your interest? Last episode, we talked about shows and things we've been binge watching. What other things are you doing? Especially if it's a recipe, because I'm tired of cooking.
Really?
Yeah, I'm over it. My status on Facebook the other day, I wrote, I need to put some money away for how I'm going to try to fix the economy the first weekend. Because I'm about to be at the salon, the spa, the restaurant, the store, I'm going to all the doctors. I don't care if I don't have a problem. I'm going to the dermatologist. I'm going to the head, feet, and hands. I'm going to the general practitioner. I'm going to the gynecologist. I'm going to the etymologist. What's that to deal with? I'm going all the places, and then I'm going to pack a bag and get in my car, and I'm going to road trip, and I don't know what the destination is. I need to save some money.
Listen,
I'm about to
put it back in the economy. We're going to literally stimulate.
Man, I'm going to do my part.
Ain't no saving.
I'm going to do my part. I got it. Y'all don't have to holler at me. Just know when it's time, Daria did her part to recoup and recover.
I'm right there with you. Trust me.
We want to thank everybody for joining us for this episode of EmpyREAL Everyday Women. Just want to thank women that are out here every day being dependable, being a stable resource for us to come to, that are flexible but yet consistent. Again, congratulations and shout out to Lachey Lawson and
Denidra.
We are grateful for you and your example. Any final words before we're out of here, Ms. Ashley?
I can't wait to record with you again. This is always a blast and fun and all that good stuff. It's such an honor, Dee.
Me too, Ms. Ash. All right, and it's an honor to be in your ear, and we hope that you'll join us again next time. Peace.